Good morning, children. I welcome you all on today's class. Students, in our previous two videos, we have discussed about the structure of the eye, and still some portions are left, and this we will complete today. Now see, in the structure of eye, what I have already taught you. I taught you that the whole eye lies in the orbit. Okay, and then the layers of the eye, we can see that there are three layers of eye. The outer is non-vascular and tough. It is named as sclera. It is opaque. Then we come to the second layer, and second is the choroid. This is also called as the pigmented layer. Okay, because in this region, in this layer, we can find out the large number of the pigment named as the melanin. And the presence of the melanin, children, it avoids the light to reflect. So it absorbs the whole light so that the light can fall on the retina and there is the formation of the image. So what happens? This choroid is also called as the pigmented layer because it contains the pigment named as melanin. Then we come to the innermost layer, and innermost layer is working as a screen, and this is retina. Where whatever images are formed, the image first fall on the screen only, and then only we are able to see the image. If there is no retina, there will be no formation of the image. So this is the retina. Now, all the three portions we have already discussed. Then from the front side, there is an outgrowth, and the outgrowth is called as the cornea. Okay, so this white portion, white bulging part of the eye is called as the cornea, and only this is the portion that is visible to us. Clear? So this we have done. Then if we move inside the cornea and from here inside the retina, then we can see these many structures. Now this black one is the iris. Okay, so this I have to tell you in detail. This black one is the iris, children, and we can say that behind the cornea, choroid layer is modified. Choroid layer is modified. Okay, so it's better to draw with red. Behind the cornea, the choroid layer is modified, and it modifies to form the structure, and the structure is called as the iris. Now see, what is this iris? This iris is a circular disc-like structure. Okay, and this iris is made up of some circular muscles. I am drawing some circular muscles and some radial muscles. Okay, these are some radial muscles. So our iris can be of various colors. Now various means we have seen brown eyes, we have seen black eyes, okay, then with blue eyes. So that whatever different colors of the eye we have seen, that is the color of the iris. Okay, now iris is made up of the two muscles, and the muscles are called as the circular muscle as well as the radial muscles. Okay, now see, children, these circular muscles and radial muscles, they contract and relax, and if they contract and relax, then only the exact amount of light can enter into the eye through the pupil, because these iris are surrounded by a structure, and this is called as pupil. Now where is the pupil here? This I have marked as the pupil. Okay, now see what happens whenever we enter into the bright light in the open area, in the presence of sunlight, then automatically we close our eyes. Okay, now how it happens and why it happens? Because if we will not close our eyes, then what happens? The sunlight, the rays of the light will directly enter into the eye, and the intensity of the light may be harmful for our retina, for our lens. So just to avoid everything, our iris adjusts itself so that the limited amount of light can enter into the eye when we go to the bright sunlight. Now see how it happens. When we go to the bright sunlight, at that time, our circular muscles, these circular muscles, they get constricted. Okay. So what happens? Circular muscles constricted, and if they will get constricted, then our pupil, the whole of the pupil will become shortened. Okay, it will become very narrow, very small, and because of that, the small amount of light will enter into the eye. Clear? So this is the case when we enter in the bright light. But what happens when we move to the dark light? When we enter into the dark room? Once again, children, if we enter into the dark room, we need more and more light so we can see the objects clearly. Just to enter more and more light, our pupil has to be dilated. Pupil has to increase its size. And when the pupil will increase its size, when these radial muscles, they will get contracted. Contract means if they will shift towards this side. Okay, I am talking about this radial muscle. If they will shift towards this side. Getting my point? So that they can hold your pupil and then they can go back from all the sides, and the size of the pupil may increase and will be able to see the things clearly. So what happens when we enter into the dark room? What happens? This radial muscles contract. Okay. If this radial muscles contract, and just opposite of that, with the circular muscles, they will relax. Okay. This contraction, this relaxation, what will happen? The pupil will dilate, or it will increase its size, and then maximum amount of light will enter into the eye and will be able to see the things clearly. So this is the function of the iris, children. Clear? So what happens? Our iris, once again I am telling you, our iris is made up of the radial muscles as well as the circular muscles. When the circular muscles contract, then the pupil will also constrict, and less amount of light will enter into the eye. Clear? Now, when the radial muscles will contract, the circular muscles will relax and pupil will dilate. It will become large and more amount of light will enter into the eye. And this is good for the dark room, and previous one is good for the bright light. Clear? So this is all about the iris. Now you come inside. As we move inside, we see I have drawn ciliary muscles. Okay. This ciliary muscles, they have two functions, and the function is this ciliary muscles secrete aqueous humor for the eye, and this is nutritious in nature, which keep our eyes moist and provide nourishment to the eye. So this is secreted by these muscles, as well as these muscles, they will hold our suspensory ligament, and the suspensory ligament is finally holding our lens. So ultimately we can say that the ciliary muscles, they have two functions. One, they help in holding the convex lens, and second, they used to secrete some chemical like aqueous humor, and this aqueous humor is responsible for the nourishment of the eye. Clear? Then we move to the suspensory ligament. Now this is the ligament, and this ligament is holding our lens. Time to time it will contract, it will relax, and it will change the shape of the lens. So how the shape of the lens changes? It changes because of the presence of the suspensory ligament as well as the ciliary muscles. When the ciliary muscles, they will contract, they will relax, then they will stretch your suspensory ligament, and if the suspensory ligament is stretched, then size of the lens will become thin, and when the suspensory ligament will loosen, then your lens will become thick and exact amount of light and images will be formed through this lens and through the suspensory ligamental ciliary muscles. Clear? Then we move inside. Now inside what we can say? We can see vitreous humor, and this vitreous humor is also there for the nourishment of the eye and everything. So here there is aqueous humor, here there is vitreous humor. Okay, so these two liquids are present in the eye. Then we move at this side, and this is called as the retina. Okay, this we have already studied. This is the innermost neurosensory layer. What is this retina? It is neurosensory. That is, it gives sensation to the neurons. Neurosensory. Okay, so what is this? This is neurosensory layer. And whatever images are formed, the images are formed on the retina. Clear? And then this retina contains yellow spot and blind spot. This yellow spot is a place where the best images can be formed. Sharp and bright images can be formed, because one thing I would like to tell you, our retina contains two types of cells. One is rod cells and second is the cone cells. Okay, the rod cells contains a pigment called as the rhodopsin, or it is also called as the iodopsin. And the cone cell contains the pigment that is called as the iodopsin, and rod cells contain the pigment that is called as the rhodopsin. Till here. Okay. Now this rhodopsin, it is also called as the purple vision. Clear? So what is there? If this is the retina, this retina contains number of cells, and these cells are called as rod cells. Okay. And these cells are also called as one more type of cell, and this is called as cone cells. Okay. Rod cell contains the pigment named as rhodopsin. It is also called as purple vision. Okay. And cone cell consists of the pigment called as iodopsin. D-O-P-S-I-N. Iodopsin. Clear? And this cone cell is responsible for the color, and rod cells are responsible for the light intensity. Now in the eye there is a spot named as yellow spot. It is also called as the fovea centralis, and this is the place where the high amount of rod cells, excess accumulation of the rod cells and cone cells are there, so that it can have the maximum intensity of the light, and whatever things we want to see with clear eyes, with clear vision, with clear distinct, okay, sharp image, then that is possible through the yellow spot only. After that, cone is responsible for the color vision. Okay, now whatever images are formed on the retina, the image is always inverted. Clear? The image is inverted because convex lens always forms the inverted image. And this inverted image, while moving, it comes to the yellow spot. At the yellow spot, the image will become concentrated. Then only we can see the sharp image, and everything will go to the optic nerve fiber, and from here it will go to the brain. In the brain we have the different optic lobe. Okay, this we will see in the nervous system, that in the brain we have the optic lobe. Optic lobe will receive the messages from the nerve, optic nerve. Then our brain will interpret everything and again give us the response, and through that response we are able to see the things. Okay, now at this point, at the junction of the optic nerve fibers, at the junction we have one spot, and that is called as the blind spot. So I think so the whole portion is clear, children. Yes, I have taught you about the yellow spot, fovea centralis, and the blind spot, the area of no vision, and this is the area of the best vision. Now nothing is left. Everything is completed. In the next part of the class, we will see the next portion. Okay? Thank you.